rather funny, and the second half being the unverified rumor that Raven got Shane McMahon hooked on cocaine. Again, it's
What?
unverified, though.
This is true. Like, I can get the senses of why, like, you would not like this person. He got your son addicted to coke.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
What up, it's Ahmadjay back here in another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by WrestleLania. The video is going to be on 11 wrestlers WWE regret ever signing. Man, it's a handful of people. Lars Sullivan, shit, a whole, probably like a lot of classics from like the back in the damn day. You could probably even say Chris Benoit in a sense. Maybe not for his wrestling, maybe not for his wrestling, but in the long run, yes. There's like a other few bundle of other people that I can't really think of, but we gonna be like learning through on this list. I'm probably gonna be adding a few, I don't know, but if it ever comes to mind, I'll say it. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the wrestling content. I'll be releasing these every day or every other day. I try to release it every other day in case videos ever get in the way. I try to upload as many videos as I can a day. It may be different topics, but I make sure I always get out like a WWE video every week or even every other day. But if you're a wrestling fan, don't forget to follow and like, and we be discussing wrestling and reacting to wrestling. Let's get it.
Tiger Ali Singh. Jim Ross named Tiger Ali Singh is arguably the worst signing he was responsible for during
I damn near don't even remember who this is.
his time helping recruit talent for WWE in the 90s. Singh, the son of legendary Indian wrestler Tigerjeet Singh, joined WWE in 1997, and he appeared to have many of the qualities the company was looking for. He had the right physical appearance, came from a respected wrestling family, and was considered intelligent. WWE chairman Vince McMahon was also reportedly enthusiastic about Singh because he believed the wrestler could help the company expand to international markets. Oddly, they made him a heel though. However, according to Ross, those qualities never translated into success with WWE audiences. Speaking on his Grill and JR podcast, Ross explained that WWE invested far too much time trying to make Singh work. In Ross's view, Singh was a good-looking and intelligent performer who appeared convincing as a pro wrestler, but he lacked the natural ability to form a connection with fans and keep them entertained. Singh eventually left WWE following a difficult relationship with the company.
Yeah, if that's really hard to do, even as a foreign heel, bro, Jesus. I mean, well, obviously they're gonna always push him as like a foreign heel. This is like the late 90s. I'm surprised he even survived a month in that company, bro. I think at this point in WWE, people were really getting tired of foreign heels, bro. Shit gimmick was tired. I'm surprised it was still being brought up many years later when Vince McMahon was in his company. Tenzai, Rusev surprisingly kind of worked toward the latter end of his first run in WWE. But I'm surprised that worked. But yeah, that the whole shtick gets tiring. Overall, a WWE wrestler has to learn how to connect to the crowd, or has to form some type of connection for them to give a damn about them.
And later pursued legal action against him, claiming racism within the company. But after recovering from several concussions, he made occasional independent wrestling appearances before stepping away from pro wrestling. Number 10. Mystico. Promoted to Executive Vice President of Talent and Live Events in 2011, Triple H was tasked with overseeing the talent recruitment and developmental departments, and CMLL megastar Mystico marked his first major coup. Renamed Sin Cara, it was heavily expected that he would fulfill the company-wide goal of discovering their next Rey Mysterio, with reports even claiming that Triple H had personally taken the masked superstar under his wing development-wise. All things considered, he should have been a smash hit for WWE, but an infamous botch on night one led to Sin Cara being quietly shunned from a favorable position within management.
That's crazy. Night one it always gets me every time we talk about Sin Cara. But I feel like this topic has been beat with a dead horse all the fucking time. I'm gonna skip it. If you guys want to go watch this original video, you guys can, but I'm tired of them beating the dead horse with Sin Cara every time.
Between pulling the plug on a reportedly promised WWF Championship run because Golden Boy Shawn Michaels didn't fancy working him again, and booking Paul Bearer to dance over his fallen body for, well, reasons, Vader became a complete joke in WWF. The creme de la creme, however, came when WWE hastily, albeit briefly, brought Vader back to relevance with a handful of appearances in late 2005. He was hired as one of the two goons by Jonathan Coachman ahead of Taboo Tuesday, the other being Goldust of all people, and he was tasked with rinsing Batista before the Animal's eventual demolition of Coachman. Vader, though, was a shell of his former self in the run-up to the pay-per-view and the show itself. Upon his initial return, he jumped the gun, running in to save Goldust, who was already in control against Batista. It was a complete mess, and Vader quietly vanished without a trace after the event.
Man.
Mercifully, Vader's actual last appearance as a talent came in 2012, when he assisted the destruction of Heath Slater by various historical WWE figures ahead of his rightful Hall of Fame induction 4 years later. Sadly, it was done posthumously. Number 8, Scott Steiner.
Man, I really wish they did that way earlier, bro. Like I always say, like, these wrestlers deserve way more respect, bro. Especially these wrestlers that have been in WWE before, a long time ago, made some type of sacrifice to help the company out. Vader was a great wrestler, bro. Vader deserved that nomination way earlier than they did. Like it really sucked that he wasn't here to just like, you know, soak all the damn glory up. We know with that Hall of Fame induction. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they regret. I guess WWE regrets signing him, but I don't think Vader really gave a damn. He just came to make a payday.
To summarize Scott Steiner's second run with WWE, he signed a 3-year deal, but was released while injured after barely 1 year had elapsed. The company had given up on him, and the two sides wouldn't formally reconcile until Scott and Brother Rick's induction into the 2022 Hall of Fame class.
Yo, I didn't even know that. Now I get why he's like always so bitter to WWE up to this point. I really get why, because like this is like that's so fucked up. That's so fucked up that they released him on a damn injury. Oh my god, bro. WWE does some shitty ass things, man. Even still today's standards, bro. They still do some lame ass shit, bro. But that was crazy. I mean, I always heard of them breaking deals, but I never really heard of them like kind of like breaking firing people on an injury, except for what was his name again? Was the dude that hurt Big E? What is happening to my brain right now? Ugh, I'm barely remembering shit. It'll come back to me. It was a guy that injured Big E, but he got released on his injury too. But yeah, that's a shitty thing to do.
Steiner, though still considerably built like a brick house, had developed a ton of ring rust during his absence from the limelight. That was most striking during his flaccid Royal Rumble and No Way Out affairs with Triple H in 2003, both of which were critically panned. It marked the end of Big Papa Pump as a credible headliner, as he was relegated to working mid-card fodder with Test and Stacy Keibler before Vince McMahon had just had enough come 2004. McMahon's bioremorse led to Scott developing a deep-rooted hatred of the entire family. He infamously referred to Stephanie McMahon as a "see you next Tuesday" during a 2017 interview, but 9 years later, he was slightly calmer when discussing why his second stint failed to pan out as successful as his WCW main event glory. He told the Baltimore Sun, "Well, if you look back, everyone from WCW got treated like garbage, from Goldberg to Kevin Nash to Scott Hall. You have to remember you were there. We beat WWE for 82 weeks straight, and Vince obviously took that personally, so he wanted to bring everyone in that was on top in WCW and bury them. Kevin Nash is supposed to be the best friend at Triple H, but he got the same thing. He won the first match against Triple H by DQ, and then lost the second one. I can't really take it that personally because Triple H treated supposedly his best friend in the same way. I'll tell you right now, people up there are miserable. Both times that I went up there, it was the most screwed up place I've ever been." Now things are a little different. Scott Steiner has now pulled back on his, controversial remarks against the McMahon family after being inducted into the 2022 Hall of Fame, as well as having his nephew Bron Breakker in the company. He doesn't want to do anything to screw that up, right? Well, it already is.
Breaker buried.
Number 7.
Oh. I was about to give him an excuse of like fucking like, you know, basically he won't screw this up for Bron Breakker. He said something. Well, but yeah, at least they cleared some stuff up at the end, yeah, at least I'm all for company and wrestler not staying angry forever, because dying angry is just not the way to go.
Chronic. Similar in the sense to
Chronic.
Scott Steiner, Chronic had been presented as one of the top tag teams during the dying stretch of WCW, not that that counts for much, and they eventually joined the WWF in 2001 as short-lived members of the Alliance. They held the WCW World Tag Team Championships twice and even headlined the 2000 Halloween Havoc opposite Goldberg, but they weren't a natural fit for WWF, not even in the eyes of the muscle-mad Vince McMahon. Comprising Brian Crush Adams and Brian Adam Bomb Clark, neither man was a stranger to the inner workings of the WWF and should have been a dominant threat during the final stretch of the invasion. But instead, they worked an absolute stinker against the Brothers of Destruction at Unforgiven that was voted the worst work match of the year by the Observer newsletter, and soon after that, they were
-2
gone,
stars.
having allegedly rebuffed McMahon's request for them to undergo a spot of seasoning in developmental. The match was an abomination, sure, but why did Vince draw the line at Brian Squared when he was all too happy to put his trust in King Mabel as a headliner 6 years early? It was this level of unknowing that made working for Vince McMahon such an arduous task for those below his trusted few on the pecking order. Number 6, Andrade. While Vince McMahon
I mean, like I said, a lot of wrestlers are not like used to working the WWE traditional way, so I kind of get why they couldn't really, do anything. But yeah, when you put on the stinker, I kind of get why WWE would not like trust you or push you again, because you're gonna go out there and make them look like fools. Yeah, so essentially, it's not a lot of stuff's gonna work.
seemed to regret signing anybody that wasn't named Hulk Hogan or Roman Reigns. There hasn't been many stories of Triple H experiencing deep regrets about any of his hires, with one notable exception though, that being Andrade. The former La Sombra returned for his second go-round as a surprise entrant in the 2024 Rumble match and remained a WWE staffer until his departure in September 2025. It was alleged that the reason for the former NXT champion's exit was several violations of the company's wellness policy, but soon after news broke of his sudden free agency, it emerged that WWE had experienced buyer's remorse with regards to bringing Andrade back. It was noted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter write-up that the company executives had hoped his jump back to WWE from AEW would have the same impact as CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. It was an impossible expectation. A lack of creativity.
I don't think that will happen, bro. Cause like they really had him on the cusp of, like, with badass creative, bro. They essentially did not know what to do with this man. They stuck him in the tag team division. I guess he was slated to win the tag team championship with Penta's brother. But yeah, I really kind of didn't see this panning out. As soon as they brought him back, I was like, ah, shit, this is about to be a hit or miss, bro. Because everything in WWE right now is a hit or miss, bro. They're having trouble pushing everybody the right way, bro. Only people that are having trouble pushing is the damn the damn bloodline right now. But like, to say this has like, he has like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say I don't like Andrade, but like, to say he has like the same star power as Cody Rhodes and CM Punk coming back, that's a big mistake right there. And I get why they would regret this whole little thing right here, because him fucking up toward the end, and ruining his spot, and violating the damn wellness policies. I mean, I'm pretty sure WWE probably gave people a lot of chances with the drugs or whatever policies that they violate, but sometimes you just go have to cut the leash and let them go.
Direction was cited as a key reason behind Andrade's wanting to exit WWE. This has been placed in a thrown-together tag team with Rey Fenix that only made audiences yearn for Phoenix to reunite with his brother Penta. Regardless, it was a bizarre 15-month stretch for someone who was positioned so prominently during Triple H's steering of NXT. Number 5, Mark Henry. WWE had high hopes for Mark Henry in 1996. Vince McMahon signed him to his fledgling empire shortly after the world's strongest man represented the United States as a powerlifter in the '96 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, on a deal that almost matched Bret Hart in terms of its lucrativity. Mark was hired at a $250,000 annual salary with 10 years of guaranteed employment. Despite his complete lack of wrestling knowledge and an apparent indifference to developing, he was practically robbing McMahon blind. This naturally led to intense jealousy towards Mark Henry, a rookie in the pro wrestling game, from his newfound peers. He joked the vitriol off during an appearance on Kurt Angle's podcast, but it was still clear that Henry was affected by his societal outcast status.
Oh yeah, they hated my guts and sabotaged me. Intentionally tried to sabotage me. And I never got joked with. Nobody, I mean, we joked around with my friends. You play the dozens, talk about your mama, that kind of thing. But nobody ever put like salt in my food when I wasn't looking, or try to put pills in.
Bro, who the fuck would do that? I think this nigga Mark Henry would fuck you up. Like, just imagine, like, a strong ass dude like Mark Henry back then when he was still young, relatively, just randomly just whoop your ass. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, I mean, I get they wouldn't probably fuck with him like on the outside. I get them kind of trying to sabotage him, but fuck with this man like that, he almost literally fucked up Shawn Michaels for attempting all of that shit.
My drink to knock me out, or put shit in my food, or man, it was so much shit that happened. Like the ribbon got ridiculous, and there was points where people took liberties. Like they knew they could get away with it in the framework of wrestling, so they would knock the shit out of me.
Regardless, Mark Henry ran with everything thrown at him, and he was able to forge a corner for himself during the Attitude Era. As sexual chocolate, he got over during an era in which getting over wasn't as easy as it once was, though his relationship with Mae Young could have gone amiss. Number 4, Nathan Jones. Ever so fond of a hulking performer whom he could label as WWE's next big thing. Irrespective of their actual talent as a wrestler, Vince McMahon signed Nathan Jones on a spot in 2003, but it wasn't before long Jones called time on his WWE career. He legitimately walked out during a company tour of Australia at the end of the year, citing frustrations with the hectic schedule. Vince had already soured on his latest pet project, having pulled Jones from a planned WrestleMania 19 tag team match, pitting Nathan and the other.
How the fuck is he on the floor like that? Oh my god, yeah, bro. We talked about this nigga before, bro. I get why they regret signing him. He's so bland. I took a look at like some of the old clips and videos that they showed for the last time he was mentioned, and like he's so bland, like just bald and with no personality. At least this nigga Albert was his gimmick was he was just hairy. But you have to have something that lets you stand out as a wrestler. And then you being bald is, Stone Cold Steve Austin's thing, essentially.
Against the Big Show and A-Train. It was clear he was far too green to be on WWE's main roster, let alone competing at WrestleMania as part of the Undertaker's streak. He was rightfully sent to OVW shortly after Mania for further development, not that it did him any favors. Discussing the Colossus of Bogo Road on his podcast, Jim Ross claimed that while Vince wasn't outright angry that Nathan had walked out, he was still disappointed that his latest grand plan hadn't panned out as hoped. Number 3, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho eventually became so deeply ingrained in Vince McMahon's good books that alongside his many title victories under McMahon's creative vision, Vince was reported as having done everything in his power to stop Jericho from jumping to AEW in 2019. He was unsuccessful, obviously, but had Tony Khan set up shop 2 decades earlier in 1999, he likely wouldn't have had a rival billionaire vying for Jericho's attention. McMahon hated Y2J in the beginning, and it can be safely assumed that he only signed Jericho to sway another troop away from Ted Turner's camp. Unlike most of Vince's petty one-sided rivalries, however, he had a somewhat good reason to regret signing Chris. He'd accidentally gave China a black eye. Jericho spoke of his heated encounter with McMahon in his second autobiography, Undisputed, saying, "I knocked on his door and walked in to find him talking to Triple H. They gave me a strange look and Vince asked me to come back in a few minutes. After a couple..."
I mean, honestly, yeah, I can get the backstage politics with this one, bro. You accidentally gave a black eye, and China at the time was with Triple H, and Triple H had a lot of pull backstage. Whether he would like to downplay that shit nowadays, I'm pretty sure he has something to probably do with what probably happened next.
Of minutes, I went back to his office. This time Triple H was gone and Vince was with Jim Ross, the head of talent relations, and Jack Lanza. He told me to shut the door and take a seat, and surprisingly, he didn't look happy. As a matter of fact, he looked downright pissed. Vince looked at me in the eye and said, "What is your problem?" I said, "Pardon me?" He said, "What the F is your problem?" Oh, my normally calm and collected boss was now swearing at me. I said, "I'm sorry, I don't understand." So what you did to China yesterday, huh? You gave her a black eye. You were stiffing the shit out of her. How could you do that? Caught off guard, I tried to defend myself. It wasn't intentional, Vince. It's just part of the job sometimes. You know that. I said, "You don't have an effing clue what you're doing out there. You're green as grass and it's embarrassing. I was sold a bill of goods in bringing you here. It's not worth the paper your contract is printed on. Everybody's complaining about you." Yikes, well, that wasn't what I expected to hear when I walked in his office. I was in shock. Now, regardless, Chris Jericho eventually became a McMahon favorite and he ended his WWE tenure as a 26-time champion. As Vince got over the black eye. Number 2, Buff Bagwell.
And very well, he should have got over that, bro. Like I said, I mean, he does have a point there. Shit happens in wrestling. You can get hurt. Shit happens. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Triple H had a problem with that. Bro, sneakily just went out the room. And I'm pretty sure he posted, "Listen, man, he can't be hurting my girl. Like, come on. You seen him out there?"
Invasion storyline in 2001 brought a number of duds to the biggest game in town, but none had a terser run as Buff Bagwell. He was in and out within a week. Bagwell's sole outing in WWF was as a challenger for Booker T's WCW Championship on the July 2nd Raw, a match that ended in a no contest and one that was critically panned. Speaking on Off the Record, sports journalist Michael Landsberg referred to it as the worst match ever, with specific criticism towards Buff Bagwell. After that, he was in a storyline thrown out of the building by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle, and in reality handed his papers following accusations of a bad attitude backstage. Understandably, Vince McMahon deeply regretted putting pen to paper to bring the stuff to the WWF, as Jim Ross explained on his Grillin' JR podcast.
Well, Buff he thought he had a higher opinion of his work than Vince did. And, you know, I've become the bad guy because I'm the middleman. I'm the guy that delivers the bad news or the good news at times. But I don't hold any animosity to this day on Mark Bagwell whatsoever. He just wasn't a good fit, Conrad, and he, you know, that partying lifestyle.
Was it him or the other guy that like had their mom call WWE and talk to him about the job? That's what eventually got one of these people fired. I don't know if it was Buff Bagwell or the dude with the mop.
Well, you know, we're trying to distance ourselves a little bit from that if we could. You know, Vince just didn't see the money in Mark that Mark saw it himself. So I can only deal with the hand that's dealt me. When I'm told this kid's not going to get it, I want you to let him go.
And number 1, Raven. Vince McMahon's hatred of Raven is a tale of two halves, the first half actually being rather funny, and the second half being the unverified rumor that Raven got Shane McMahon hooked on cocaine. Again, it's unverified, though it would explain Shane's excessive sweating in his later years, as well as his daredevil mindset to jump off the top of the Hell in a Cell.
Shit, nigga, if that's true, I can get why the nigga was released and or why he isn't liked. If it was true, I don't know if it's true, but yeah, I think I reacted to a video. I don't know what the name was, but like it was about Raven 2 not getting like a good push or something. But if this is true, like I can get the senses of why like you would not like this person. He got your son addicted to coke. Like, man, what?
Hilarious first half, though, concerns McMahon's boardroom confusion at having resigned an innocuous and new generation era manager. Real name Scott Levy, Raven had been Johnny Polo in a previous life before moving to ECW and WCW to develop his more iconic persona. And as Raven explained during an appearance on Chris Jericho, Vince had no clue that he was the same man who once managed the Quebecers. JR brought me in, and this is what Michael Hayes told me, that when Vince heard about it, he goes, "Who they have hired Johnny Polo?" Because I don't think Vince even knew I built a career as Raven prior to going back there. I think he thought I was Johnny Polo, and then 4 years went by and I sat at home because if I wasn't working for him, I wasn't working anywhere. Raven didn't last long in the company, packing his bags in 2003.
Yeah, I can tell why. Yeah. I mean, it was a Johnny Polo thing, and like I said, if it's true that he got Shane addicted to coke, I will understand why the nigga wasn't liked. But the thing with Chris Jericho, man, like I said, it was just legs, bro. I mean, some of these people I can get like why they would regret signing them. Some people I don't really get why they're on this list. I mean, they could be on this list for a handful of reasons, but opinion could change mid throughout their 5-year or 10-year in WWE. But yeah, like I said, I don't get why some of these people are on here, bruh. But hey, man, hey, let me know what you guys think of this whole video below, and the link for the description. This video will be in a link in the description, and we are on the road to 900. I will catch you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?